Good people, how are you doing? I greet you all. For all my people all in America, Doha, Saudi Arabia, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Cuba, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, South Africa, and Tunisia from all over the world. I'm your host, Dr. John Tirango. Today I would like us to discuss, as you know that the world has been hit by the COVID-19. Definitely we need to be aware of everything. And now after this, we need to ask ourselves, after all this scenario, what will happen? After all this thing is over, what will happen? That's the question that we need to ask, so that we may be able to prepare ourselves. As we all know, the COVID-19 has brought the world economy to a standstill and to a halt. After all this is gone, because it will be gone, just like the way it came, it will go suddenly, like the way it came. Now we need to ask ourselves, what will be the possible scenarios, or what are we supposed to do after the COVID-19 is over? Because we'll have strategies so that we will not have such a thing happening again. So according to me, I have listed down strategically the possible scenarios that will happen as a result of this COVID-19. These are my own opinion. They are not based upon anything, but these are my own opinion according to me. And I'll go first. And number one that I have suggested is will have a deadly effect on the economic. As you know that the world economy has gone down. So definitely in many countries the economic is down. So after this, you'll need to see things coming up to build up the economy, because the economy has decreased. Number two, we'll have international mobility of both people and goods brought to a halt. That's something which you are seeing. The mobility of people, the close down of the airport, close down of the borders by different countries has been brought to a halt. Number three, we have decrease in tourism and breaking global supply chain. Tourism has gone down. Many countries have closed down their tourism sector as a result of COVID-19. As an entrepreneur, as a leader, you need to ask yourself, what will be the possible measure so that we may bring up the tourism after the COVID-19? Number four is bustling shops and offices building will not render services as usual for months. As a result of lockdown and the curfew, many offices and buildings have been closed down. This is as a result of the COVID-19 that we are seeing. Number four, those businesses and offices will lose employees and customers. As a business person, your daily customer that you used to have, you lose them as a result of this COVID-19. Now, what measures will you come up with? Number six, continue quarantine and lockdown. We have seen in so many countries, we have curfew. And as the COVID-19, the graph goes up, we'll have lockdown. What are you going to do? Prepare yourself for everything that's going to happen. Number seven is closing of all borders as a result of COVID-19. The borders has closed as a result of all COVID-19, so that to prevent spread of this COVID-19. Number eight is post-pandemic recovery. After all this recovery, many countries will have post-pandemic recovery. Those are some of the things which you'll have. Number nine, imposition of airtight rules and restrictions. Now, after this is over, we'll have airtight rules such that we'll have a lot of screening in the airport. That will be a rule. That will be a law in many countries. Probably, we might have a vaccine. Remember the yellow fever vaccine? You are not allowed to travel or fly without the yellow fever vaccine. That might happen as a result of COVID-19. We may have one vaccine, and you are not supposed to travel to other countries if you are not vaccinated. That's some of the scenarios. Remember, I'm saying these are my own opinion. These are not based on any country or are not based on the world or anything. These are my own opinion as I have strategized on what will happen after the COVID-19. Number 10 is mandatory body temperature checkup at borders to even supermarket and interstate and intercounties. That might come to be a rule in the world and interborder. Screening even in the supermarket for the body temperatures. Intercounties, interstates. Like in the States, in the United States, we may have those kind of screening coming up after the COVID-19. Number 11, you have authoritarian control and oversight of citizens, and the activity stuck and even intensified. In order to control themselves from the spread and increase, it will increase global problems. Number 12, we might have leaders around the world to take firmer grip on power so that we might not see such scenarios happening. This is after the COVID-19. Number 13, we will have a more controlled world. The world will be more controlled so that such thing might not happen again. Number 14, citizens will be eager for top-down direction and oversight, and national leaders will have more latitude and impose order in the ways they see it fit. Number 15, in developed countries, we will have biometric IDs for all citizens. That might happen as a result of this pandemic of COVID-19. Remember, I first said again, these are my own opinion. These are based on my own opinions. Number 16, enforced cooperation with the new regulation and agreement for economic growth. Remember, the world economic has been brought to a halt. Now the countries will need to come up again to increase their economic, and we'll see many cooperation after this pandemic. Number 17, in countries with strong and thoughtful leaders, the economic status and quality of life will increase if your country has got leaders who think. Number 18, we might have see the use of robots for developed countries in risky scenarios, like the way we have seen. Many doctors have died as a result of the COVID-19. Now, the many countries will not render or will not let their doctors to die again like that. And we might see the use of robots in such scenarios. Number 19, we'll see smarter packaging for food and beverages will be applied by companies and producers. That might be infringed. Many handling companies and packaging materials will be looked after this pandemic. Remember, these are my own opinion based on my strategic. Number 20, we might have new diagnostics that are developed to detect communicable diseases, because this COVID-19 spread due to lack of knowing, or lack of machines. And now we'll have new diagnostic machines that will detect communicable diseases, and the health screening will change. It will become a prerequisite for release from hospital or prison, successfully slowing the spread of many diseases. So if you are an entrepreneur, and you are thinking of maybe investing, so we might have diagnostic material and tools for that thing. Number 21, telepresence technology response to the demand for less expensive, lower bandwidth, sophisticated communication system for population whose travel is restricted. If you are restricted to travel and you need to attend a conference, now you'll see the increase of telecommunication because as a result of this COVID-19. Number 22, doctors will be forced to work in their own countries and not working outside the borders. These are for doctors without borders, such that doctors may say that, let me go and work in another country, let me go and work in another country. And we see that in such a country, there is less of doctors. So many countries or some countries may put those rules, meaning that many doctors might be forced to work in their own country. Will not have again doctors without borders. Remember, I have said these are my own opinion. These are not based on any other country or any country or checking on one country. These are my own opinion. I have strategized. Number 23, provision of new diagnostic for native diseases. We'll have maybe provision of new diagnostic for native diseases like the COVID-19. We didn't have the testing kit or testing equipment, so we might have many testing equipment coming up for native diseases like the COVID-19 after this COVID-19 scenario is over. Another thing that we may have, and the last one, is mandatory vaccine certificate of COVID-19 if one need to travel up country or any other country. So some countries may impose rules regarding the COVID-19. If you want to travel to certain country, they might require the COVID-19 certificate. So as I have said, these are my own strategy of scenario or effects of COVID-19 after this COVID-19 is over. Remember to take care. Regularly wash your hands. Regularly keep social distance. Remember, if you are coughing, go and see a doctor. I am your guy, Dr. John. Cheers.